Welcome to the Fresh Talk Network.
Delhi CM Rekha Gupta attacked during a public event.
Yeah. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shocking, but clear.
Right. A politician attacked. But here's the thing, and it's kind of the whole point of this dive. What if that headline, what if that's the biggest piece of misinformation here?
It's a really fascinating example, almost like a textbook case of how the speed of news and just the way the internet works can, well, spread confusion
Almost
accidentally.
Yeah.
And even when people fix the main facts later, that first mistake can leave this digital footprint that just sticks around.
So that's our mission today, right? To untangle this mess of news reports about this political incident or incidents in Delhi.
Exactly. We're not just looking at what the reports say. We're trying to figure out how they got it wrong, why different stories popped up, and, what it means for you trying to stay informed these days.
Totally. We've got a bunch of stuff here, news articles, agency reports, our own notes, to really pick this apart.
Yeah.
And you'll see just how fast a simple mistake can get baked into the internet, like permanently, and why you can't always just trust a URL, even if it looks legit. Honestly, when I first saw that CM Rekha Gupta thing, it really threw me. It seemed so specific, but completely wrong.
Yeah, that's the absolute core of it, that initial mistake. The basic piece of misinformation that we found in quite a few early reports, especially in the URLs, was this idea of a Chief Minister, Rekha Gupta, in Delhi.
Who doesn't exist.
Right, doesn't exist. The actual Chief Minister of Delhi is Arvind Kejriwal.
Yeah.
That's like the fundamental error everything else grew out of.
Okay, so no CM Rekha Gupta, check. But it gets even weirder, doesn't it?
It does.
Because looking through all this, we found that the sources are actually talking about two different incidents, separate events, different people involved.
Exactly. Both were, at some point, mistakenly labeled with this non-existent CM Rekha Gupta.
It's like that game of telephone, but, with news reports and URLs leaving this confusing digital trail.
Precisely. So let's tackle the first one. This got a lot of press. It involved Dr. Shelly Oberoi. Now, she's the mayor of Delhi, an AAP leader that's the Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, the mayor, not the CM.
Correct. Mayor Shelly Oberoi. She was attacked during a John Sunway. That's like a public hearing, a grievance meeting.
Where people can voice complaints.
Exactly. This happened at the Civic Center. The dates in the reports are a little fuzzy. Some say a Saturday. One Economic Times report gives a specific date, Wednesday, August 20, 2025.
And the context for this wasn't just random, right? It was about a specific issue.
Very specific. Severe water scarcity. It's a huge problem in parts of Delhi, apparently. And the reports say a group of protesters got agitated. Some sources mention former councillors from the BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, were part of that group.
Okay, so tensions were already high around this water issue.
Seems like it. Now, how the attack actually happened, that's where the accounts start to differ a bit, which is interesting in itself.
How so?
Well, the Hindu described protesters getting agitated, shouting slogans, turning over tables, and rushing the stage where the mayor was.
Rushing the stage.
Yeah, and they said Mayor Oberoi had to be swiftly escorted away, quote, whisked away by security. Basically pulled out of there.
Okay, sounds chaotic. What about other sources?
The Times of India had a slightly different angle. They said Mayor Oberoi was actually hit by someone from the crowd. That led to pandemonium, chairs, and tables overturned. A bit more direct physical contact mentioned there.
Hit by someone. Okay.
But then, India TV News gets even more specific. They cited eyewitnesses.
Eyewitnesses.
Right? And they claimed a man from the crowd suddenly slapped Mayor Oberoi. And that specific act, the slap, supposedly triggered the bigger chaos.
Wow. A slap. That's very specific. So rushing the stage, being hit, or being slapped, the details are a bit blurry right after it happened.
Exactly. It shows how tough it is to get the precise facts straight in the middle of a chaotic situation, even before you factor in deliberate misinformation and you see the pressure news outlets are under to report something quickly. Eyewitness accounts can also vary.
Absolutely. What about injuries? Was the mayor okay?
She wasn't seriously injured, thankfully.
Sure.
Some reports, quoting party officials, said she got a light blow to her head.
Okay.
But it wasn't just her. Other reports mentioned several women councillors from her party, AAP, got injured, and a woman police constable was apparently hurt trying to manage the situation.
So definitely a volatile scene. And then I assume the politics kicked in immediately.
Oh, instantly. It turned into a major blame game, as you'd expect.
What did the mayor's party, AAP, say?
AAP came out swinging. They condemned it strongly, called it a premeditated assault orchestrated by the BJP.
Orchestrated? Wow.
Yeah. They accused BJP leaders of bringing hooligans, planning it because they couldn't, quote, digest AAP's work. They even compared it to an earlier incident at the chief minister's residence. Mayor Oberoi herself said violence wouldn't stop them.
Okay, strong words and the BJP's response.
They completely denied it, vehemently. Said their councillors were there peacefully just trying to raise the water shortage issue.
Okay.
They flipped it around, actually. Accused AAP members of provoking everything, even assaulting BJP councillors, and then, quote, playing the victim.
So, classic he said, she said.
Pretty much. The Delhi BJP president, Virendra Sachdeva, condemned the incident itself, but he dismissed the slap or stone-throwing stories as made up.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he said the politician involved, remember, in that context, they were probably still dealing with the misidentified CM name was stable and would continue her work. It's fascinating how the narrative battle just starts immediately.
It really is. Anyone else weigh in?
Yeah, the Delhi Congress chief, Devender Yadav, also condemned the attack again, using the wrong name or title from the early reports and used it to raise concerns about women's safety in the city.
So everyone's using the incident for their own political points, while the basic facts are still tangled up.
That's often how it goes. But wait, there's more confusion. Because that wasn't the only incident getting tangled up in this Rekha Gupta name.
Right, you said there were two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our digging uncovered a completely separate event. Different person, different time, different place. This one involved Shakuntala Gupta.
Shakuntala Gupta. Okay, not Shelly Oberoi and not Rekha Gupta.
Correct. Shakuntala Gupta is a councillor from the BJP representing the Timarpur ward.
A BJP councillor this time.
Right. And this happened earlier, back on February 24, 2025. It was also at a public meeting, a Janata Darbar, but in the Timarpur area of North Delhi.
Okay, different person, different party, different date, different location.
Completely different. And the attacker here was identified too, a local guy named Pankaj, or possibly Rajesh Bhai Sakriya, depending on the source.
And was there a motive?
Yeah, apparently quite specific. He was angry because some long-standing issue about regularizing a street vendor's license hadn't been sorted out. He felt his complaints were ignored.
So a personal grievance, it sounds like.
Seems that way. And the outcome here was pretty quick. People at the meeting grabbed the guy immediately, handed him over to the police, and FIR, that's the first information report, was filed, and he was arrested.
Okay. And the political reaction to this incident?
Also swift. The BJP condemned this attack on their councillor and used it to criticize the Delhi government's handling of law and order. Again, framing it politically.
So we've got Mayor Shelly Oberoi, AAP, attacked at a water protest in August, possibly slapped. And we've got Councillor Shakuntala Gupta, BJP, attacked over a license issue back in February.
Exactly. Two distinct events.
So how on earth did they both get reported, at least initially, under this wrong name, Rekha Gupta, and the wrong title, CM? That's the real head-scratcher here. This feels like the core lesson, understanding how this misinformation actually spread.
It absolutely is, and raises that big question. How did CM Rekha Gupta get everywhere, especially in those URLs, and just stick?
Yeah.
The most plausible explanation, and this happens a lot, involves the newswire services. Think PTI or ANI in India. They're like the AP or Reuters.
They put out the first alerts.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's highly likely one of them put out an initial flash report super fast, but with a critical error. Wrong first name, maybe confusing Shakuntala or Shelly with Rekha, or just a typo and the wrong title, CM, instead of mayor or councillor.
A double whammy right at the start.
Right. And then you have the 24/7 news cycle kicking in. News websites are under huge pressure to get stories up instantly.
They use automated systems, right?
Often, yes. Systems that automatically grab that wire copy, generate a headline, create a web page, and crucially create the URL for that page, often based directly on that first flawed headline.
So the mistake gets baked into the URL right away, like CM Rekha Gupta.
Precisely. It becomes what you called it earlier, a permanent digital fossil.
A digital fossil. I like that.
Because once a URL is published, website managers are really reluctant to change it. Changing it breaks links, messes up search engine rankings. It's a hassle.
So even after human editors step in.
Which they did. Editors at NDTV, Hindustan Times, Times of India, Idiot TV News, they clearly realized the mistake quickly. They corrected the headlines in the articles, they fixed the names and titles in the story text to correctly identify Mayor Oberoi or Councillor Gupta.
They cleaned up the actual article content.
Yes, the human editors did their job, but the URL, that often stays the same. So the ghost of CM Rekha Gupta keeps haunting the web address bar. even when the story below it is accurate.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The permanent part is the mistake.
It is. And it just hammers home how important it is to, not just glance at a headline or a URL.
Which I definitely did at first. You see the URL, you think, okay, that's what it's about.
We all do it. But this shows you have to actually click and read the content. And even then, maybe check another source or two, especially if something feels off. Skimming can really lead you astray.
Yeah, no kidding.
And connecting this back, we also saw how different outlets, even after fixing the names, can still frame the story differently, right?
Right. You mentioned Mathrupumi English.
Yeah, they really focused on the BJP side of the story regarding the Mayor Oberoi incident, highlighting the claim that their councillors were attacked by AAP folks rather than leading with the attack on the mayor.
So the bias or the angle can still shape the narrative, even when the core facts, like the person's name, are eventually corrected.
Exactly. It shows how political leanings or editorial choices influence how the news is presented, not just what is presented.
Okay. Wow. So let's try and wrap this up. We've untangled quite a bit here. What are the main takeaways from this whole CM Rekha Gupta saga? It felt like untangling knots.
It really did. Okay, first big takeaway.
Sure.
Just how crucial it is to try and separate fact from, misinformation or just plain error, especially when news is breaking super fast. Speed isn't always accuracy.
Definitely. What else?
Second, how those initial mistakes, particularly in the digital world, can get permanently stuck in things like URLs. They become these persistent reminders of the early confusion, digital fossils, as we said.
Yeah. And third,
it just underlines the need for all of us to be critical consumers of news. Question things, click the link, read the article, cross-reference if you can. Don't just rely on a headline or the URL flashing by.
good advice. And what about the politics of it all? Anything stand out there?
It's just how incredibly fast these things become polarized. The incident happens and bam, instantly it's framed by opposing sides, becomes fodder for the ongoing political battles. The actual event sometimes gets lost in the narrative fight.
Yeah, the spin cycle starts immediately.
Absolutely. But maybe the final thought, something for you, the listener, to chew on. In this world where we've got information hitting us constantly, updates every second, how much responsibility really falls on us, the readers, the consumers, to double check everything? And maybe more fundamentally, how can we actually be well-informed when even really basic facts like someone's name or job title can be so slippery, so hard to pin down initially?
That's a heavy question. How do we stay truly informed? Something to think about. Thanks for helping untangle that web.
Always interesting to see how these things unfold.